We're here today with rapper Common. Congratulations on almost 20 years in the music industry.
Look at his face.
That's crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
20 years. Your first album came out in 1992.
Oh, yeah, it did actually. Yeah, the end of '92 it came out. So,
Okay, right.
and it is almost 20 years. Even though I always feel, that, I'm grateful for my first album, but I feel like my first album was definitely overlooked.
Really?
And that's what made me like work very, very hard.
So what was that moment where you felt like I'm a star?
Like you broke through?
Well, one of the breakthroughs felt like it came when I did the album called like Water for Chocolate, and it had the song The Light on it. And at that time I was performing, and I remember seeing, it was a radio show I was doing for the Beat in LA, and I started seeing all these little black girls singing my song. And I was like, dang, I'm starting to reach out to a new audience, because my audience was mostly like just it was a multicultural audience of just hip hop followers. So that was the time I was like, man, it's starting to get to another level.
Right.
And then it got to another level with the album B, and then being able to do films just takes your name to another level.
Speaking of films, you've done so many movies and worked with so many great people. Queen Latifah, Denzel Washington. One of my favorites, Happy Feet 2.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's real cool.
How do you feel about doing animation? Like, how is that different from working on set with other actors?
Well, it's a lot of fun. First of all, it's really not as much work, but I love it, because of the fact that you kind of got to use your imagination more, because you're not like you're not on a set. Like where like when you get on a set, you got costume and you get you in the environment. But this, when you're in the booth and you gotta become that character. You got the mic and you got. Hopefully, you're working with some other good actors that can give you some stuff. But it's different.
Well, like just having the mic in the studio with music too. So you have so many projects coming out with movies and with acting. You have to choose gun to head which one.
Yeah.
Movies,
if I had to choose one,
acting,
movies.
Acting or music.
Acting.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Yes, I mean, because it's just like it's so like infinite. For me, it feels like I could become these characters and do this. Like I could be 70 years old acting. It's like at a certain point in music, you can still make music, but at the end of the day, it's like it just still it don't feel as like infinite as acting
your audience
does.
changes.
Yeah.
A 70-year-old rapper could exist, but
it could, but it hasn't yet. We gonna see if it will exist.
Right.
But
Do you feel like you will retire from music?
I mean, I don't think I'll retire because I feel like it's something that I love to do, like passionately. I was doing it before I got a record deal, so I'm gonna continue to do it even after, But maybe I'll be doing performances, and because I look at artists, whether it's like the great artists, like whether it's like Earth, Wind and Fire, Shaka Khan, or jazz musicians and stuff. They still do records. They still put out songs, and So hopefully, when I'm at a certain age, if I want to do it, I can do it.
Right.
So your new album, The Dreamer, The Believer. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this album is really, it's like a return to the future for me, meaning like I return to that essence of Common, like just being able to do raw hip hop, doing soulful hip hop, doing songs about whether it's the street, love, just MCing, and it's produced by No ID. I called it The Dreamer, The Believer because I felt like, man, I always dreamed of doing something, in my life. I wanted to be something. And you got to believe in your dreams to get it, no matter what. No matter what that passion is, you got to believe.
Right.
So are there a lot of love songs on the album?
It's not a lot of love songs, it's not a lot, but I mean, I don't mind love songs. I think, love is a great thing to have and give. But I have a song called Love and Not Lost.
I want to talk a little bit about that song. In particular, I'm listening to
You
it.
should jump right in, right?
Oh, she goes
So who's that song about?
Well, the song, it actually is definitely about ex-relationships I had. Some of it can be said that it has to do with Serena. Some of it does. Some of it has to do with other past relationships. But I don't have no shame that she's been somebody in my life that I really cared about. So.
In the song you mentioned, you wanted to marry this person.
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel like you and Serena could maybe one day still walk down the aisle?
Well, right now we just friends, so I'm just going on the present. Like right now, it's a cool thing to be friends. Like I care about her, I love her. She's a wonderful person. But like in that song, I'm definitely like talking about like a woman that I did love enough to marry. You
Right.
know, obviously Serena was a strong relationship in my life, and so was Erica Badu at one point. You know,
Right.
those been probably two, and maybe one other lady been the strongest relationships I had as an adult.
Right. Well, speaking of past relationships, does that mean you're single now?
Yeah, I'm single.
You know, our Twitter is
Yes,
blowing up right
going
now. We're like, what
crazy.
should we X comment?
Is
Is
he
he single?
For real.
So we have a lot of female readers on our site, so they all want to know what are like some things that you can't live without in a mate.
Well, I need in a woman, I like for her to be, first of all, to have a sense of spirituality. I like that, just know that she believes in God. That's one thing. I like for her to be independent in a way that's like she got her own like thing going, and she feels that, and she's securing that, you know, securing that. And then I like for her to have fun, be able to have fun, and be. One thing that's really important is that she still, you know, knows that it's like a man and a woman have a, you know, like they got a certain dynamic. I'm the man of the relationship.
Right.
You're the woman. That don't mean you don't go do the things and fulfill your things, but you gotta let me be the man. Or I'm gonna take over being the man. You gotta be able to respect that.
Right. Know your roles.
Yeah, know your roles. So those are important things that, you know, and the way you treat people. That's really like. I like a woman that definitely is respectful to people.
Right.
I conduct myself like that, and that's how I want to raise our kids to be respectful.
Right.
We have to talk about the Stay Scheming remix
Oh yeah.
that you did. How did this whole beef with Drake even get started? Everybody's like, why is Common and Drake beefing? A lot of people are saying maybe it's because of Serena.
Yeah, well, I mean, I honestly wouldn't even label it a beef, but so fittingly, the song in the background that comes on is called Sweet, and that song is off the album The Dream of the Believer, and you know, when I released that song, it was really just talking about this, you know, the state of hip-hop, a type of hip-hop artist that's soft, and I think Drake really felt a certain way about that.
So do you feel like Drake is soft?
I think he just is a good artist, a talented artist. I mean, his music is let me see what his music is. It's a variety of things his music is, but you know, it's up to him to determine if he's a soft guy or not. If he felt the way about that song, that's up to him for me. You know, I don't know him well enough
To say that.
to say, yeah.
But in Stay Scheming, you said make no mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, yeah. After you said something to me, like I'm a person that's like, you know, if you come at me, I'm gonna fight you back. I'm gonna fight to the end. I'm gonna fight to the end. That's
So it didn't start off intentional, but it ended up.
Right, it ended up intentional because I mean, it started off, you know, in interviews, and people could see, like I was saying, like, hey, this Sweet ain't about anybody specifically. You know what I'm saying? Some people may fit in that category. Like if the shoe fits, let them wear it. Like if somebody was doing a song and said, man, you a racist, if they was doing a song about racism or something racist, I wouldn't be offended because I know that ain't me, you know, but if you feel a certain way about it, then that's on you. And I had to respond because I felt the way about what he was saying in Stay Scheming. So I'm like, all right, well, let me let you know.
Well, we just want to make sure, you know, this is definitely just going to stay on records. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the tradition of an aspect of hip-hop, like hip-hop battles that happen, you know, sometimes whether it's KRS-One and MC Shan in the early days or Nas and Jay, it just was, none of them got into a like physical thing because it was just like, hey, I got some words against you and I'm going to say, it's a verbal war. And I mean, those things happen. Like, they used to have, whether it's on Freestyle Friday or in 8 Mile, you see MCs battle. Now it's just, you know, it's just on record. And that's how I'm approaching it. And that's the way I'm gonna keep
Well,
it.
maybe one day we can get like a Common and Drake collabo.
I'm sure that people would love it.
Before we end, we just want to play a word association. We're going to say a word or name, and you just say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Maya Angelou.
Godly, divine, poet, incredible history.
Addiction.
Women.
Oh gosh.
Longevity.
Being true to yourself.
Wealth.
And we all deserve it.
And competition.
There's none.
I like that. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to us today.
Yes, thank
Let
you.
everybody know your Twitter, your website, how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, the album The Dream of the Believer is out. Make sure y'all go check that out. Thank you for supporting Hell on Wheels on AMC. And you can find me on Twitter at Common. Anytime I retweet, talk back to y'all and say what's popping. But thank y'all